Once again, I'm one of your hosts for the night, Rob Smith.
And I'm your other host today, Koku Tona. So Golds is written and directed by Moses Lawi. And it's about a young boy whose ill mom can't afford the medical attention she needs. Mercy, the young boy, comes up with a creative way to raise money for his mom, but will it work?
Welcome, Moses. We're going to bring him in.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. I'm doing good. I'm doing really, really good. Thank you so much for inviting me. I really, really appreciate it. And yeah, the one thing, I want to say is that I want to thank my whole entire cast and crew, because without them, this whole idea of me creating this film Goals wouldn't exactly exist.
I have a question for you. I was really excited to ask you. So I wanted to tell you why this film resonated with me, because I'm also a child of immigrants. And I'm a Tanzanian too. So I was like, wait a minute. Hold on. Are you my cousin? No, I'm just
kidding. maybe.
Maybe right. Go a little down the line somewhere. I'm trying to see if I have family where you're from. Let's see. But no, seriously though, as children of immigrants, well, with me, I'm first generation, so I was born in Chicago. But there's this dynamic of living a duality of when you're home, you're Tanzanian, which then when you go outside in the world, it may not be something that's obvious to other people. But there's a lot of life lessons to be learned when you're a first generation kid, because some of those lessons you learn at home, they don't really teach you how to navigate, when you're out and about in sort of, I guess you could say, like an American way. So, and you learn some things the hard way. How can you speak to that in terms of what relates to this film?
When it comes to it, for me, me basically relating to this film a lot. My native tongue is Swahili. My native tongue is Swahili, essentially. And bringing that on into this film was one of the pieces that I really wanted to include. Sitting down with my co-writer Helen Nelson, I was like, hey, I feel like it will be really interesting to incorporate the fact that this family is bilingual. But the younger boy doesn't really speak Swahili. But still understands it here and there. So that was one of the things that I really wanted to incorporate, in this film that I thought would definitely have like a bigger outreach, essentially, if I added it in. So
it absolutely came through. You did a fantastic job of doing that. I also know that in your bio and in the description of this film, you mentioned that you wanted to tell the story from the boy's perspective. So how did you come about making that decision, and why did you choose to go in that direction?
Yeah. So overall, when it comes to it, my whole, the whole entire story that I really wanted to create was, telling a story about, being there for your family, no matter what, taking care of your family, making sure that, that they're healthy and everything like that. And I came across to where, okay, what if I put, a young boy, in that shoe, essentially. And him having, all of those, him having that duty to make sure that his mom, does get the medical attention that she basically needs. So, and it essentially, motivates, the character overall, the young boy named Mercy, played by Ian Harris. No matter who you are, no matter how old, young, a family is on the line, you'll do whatever you can to make sure, that they're taken care of. So, yeah.
That's excellent. And how was the process? Because he was basically the main character. He did such a good job. And what's the process of like with working with a child star as a main character? And not only that, but you also, as you said, incorporated Swahili. So how was that working with kids and then also utilizing Swahili to interweave within the story? Does that make it any more difficult?
Yeah. when it comes to like having the child actor be the main lead of the film, it was a little bit tricky here and there, but the actual actor was really really amazing on set. And the one thing overall that he didn't exactly have to do so much was he didn't have a lot of dialogue and whatnot. It was all through facial acting and everything like that, which he was really really amazing. So basically, going through that process with him was really, really easy. He was there on set, ready to go, and to do his thing. The Swahili part, overall, we rehearsed for I think like 3 days, and the and two of the actors, Ayana and Rashad Williams, they had fun playing around with that dialogue of Swahili, and they were like, oh, what if he said this? What if he said that? And overall, when it comes to it, at the end of the day, they did a fantastic job, translating that really really well. Showing the film to my parents, when they saw it, they were like, "Hey, what? That's actually pretty good."
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, you really are a filmmaker, huh?
Yeah. You know what? You really did a great job of showing the bond between all of the members of the family in the story, and also the members of the community who essentially became a family to this young boy who he didn't know. So, and I know you mentioned that as being key. So, what is the main thing you want people to take away from the film with them?
Yeah, like overall is the one thing that I really want to make sure people take away is understanding, to not judge a book by its cover, sort of when it comes to a person. One of the first characters that you essentially see is, the guy who walks up to Mercy, and overall, some people would sort of like, I guess, like assume that, okay, maybe, this guy might seem a little bit troubled and everything like that here and there. But, when he walks up, he's, not the same person that you had in your mind. It's actually completely different. So it's just, understanding that, to not exactly judge a book by its cover, because you don't know who that person might be unless, you talk to them, essentially. So.
It's true. And you're right. My perception was the same. And then as the story was, I was like, oh, okay. And it's a lesson that you learn as you're going along. What projects, because obviously this is a very strong intro, but what projects are you working on right now? What should we look forward to in the future? And where can people go and follow? Just every single plug that you can give us right now.
Yeah. So right now, I'm writing a small little script, with a friend of mine, and I'm part of this small entertainment company called Random Stuff Entertainment. My Instagram is Moses Lawi, essentially, and right now I'm trying to make sure I grow as a better storyteller, because right now I'm still young, I'm still growing, but I want to push myself to be the storyteller that I see myself as, essentially. So but yeah.
And I think the Instagram is at Moses_Lawi_. So just make sure.
Yeah, that's important.
And it's also linked on our Instagram. So if you go to blackfilm_com on Instagram, you'll find him there.
That's great. I'll make sure that I start following you as well. Thank you so much for joining us, Moses. It's an excellent film. You have something that's truly, truly wonderful, and you should definitely be proud of it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.
You as well.
You too, man.
Thank you for sharing.